Well, we're often told to save money, cut out small spending like takeaway coffees and Netflix subscriptions. But there are four big things actually eating up your income.
Coffee sitting here at the desk. Over a lifetime, the average Australian will spend half of what they earn on their home, their car, their kids and retirement. Personal finance expert Christopher Zinn joins us live from Sydney to break it all down. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How can we ensure we aren't robbing ourselves when buying a home?
Well, the home is really the biggest one of all, but part of the problem is we often want to get too much home, buy too much. So look, the example, you might buy $1 million home and whether you pay 980 or $1 million doesn't make much difference, but that would buy a lifetime of lattes. So you can sweat the small stuff, but it's the big stuff that really counts. So look, our advice is really buy a home 4 or 5 times your gross income, and I know that's harder the way that prices are going, and look at a mortgage which is no more than 35% of your net pay, because you've got to keep it affordable. So really look at the needs, what you need in a house, and not necessarily the wants. So a garage adds a lot to the value to the house, but also adds a lot to the price of a house. Do you really need one? So the more realistic you are, it's over this lifetime we're talking about, not the savings over the short term. Lifetime security and confidence about your money.
Lifetime of lattes sounds nice. Well, Chris, what about tips when buying a car? Because we know that can be a very expensive exercise.
Well, it is. I mean, that's really number 2. And again, you should really buy the cheapest car your ego can withstand. And again, I know it's hard because cars are particularly expensive at this time, but let's hopefully that situation will equalise. So again, a car, 3 months of your gross income. So if you own $100,000 a year, that car, $33,000, you can still get a pretty good car for that, and it should go. And again, do you really need 2 cars? Many households have more than 2 cars, but that comes at a significant cost. If you live in an urban area and you're doing less than 5,000 Ks a year, there are other options like GoGet and Uber, which are actually going to end up much cheaper for you.
Kids obviously cost a lot, bring great joy too, we're told. But how can we reduce the cost of them?
Well, look, kids are an investment, both privately and publicly. So we need kids, and I declare an interest. I've got 2. I think they're well worth it. But they are incredibly expensive. Now, I don't want to deter people from having kids because lots of people all around the world have kids and they're not put off by the price. But there is a price. You have to accommodate that in your planning. And these figures are actually a few years old, so it could actually be even more than that. The point is people pay that, but you can economise, like a private education is not essential. We have lots of dentistry might not be covered, but medical expenses are covered, and you can make real savings in terms of shoes and clothing and these other costs. I suppose above all I'd say you don't need to spoil kids to get their love. You need to give them time and your presence. That's worth much more than all the other stuff that people need money for.
And Chris, of course, at the other end of our lives, we do need to prepare for that too. How can we ensure a safe and happy retirement?
Well, look, part of the problem is that we work for 40 years, but we might live for 90 years. So how do you fund retirement? Superannuation, of course, really helps most of us through this. But the problem is that, you know, you've got to have cleared your debts first. And really that means your mortgage. And many people are now retiring, or many, but some, with the mortgage still to pay. Most of the time the kids move away as well. So you've got lower costs. But really, if I was to say your tips now, as many people in this segment say, get your super sorted out, make sure you've got the right sort of account with the right sort of return, and reduce your debts to an absolute minimum by the time you retire. Then you should do pretty well, because look, we're very lucky in this country. Not everyone has superannuation, but of course there is a safety net in terms of retirement with the pension.
Well, they are the new big 4 when it comes to finance. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.